One of the services that we provide to our clients is market and industry research. It's easier than ever now because of AI, of course. If you give it the right prompts and you have the right tools and you use more than one tool, you can get a nice market snapshot. It's not the whole picture, though. And especially if you're not the biggest company in your market or you have a very aggressive competitor. We work a lot with mid-sized companies, and they often have a larger, faster competitor who is using a whole lot of venture money to grow the company, which means, of course, that they aren't necessarily growing the company with real customers yet. They're just managing to woo and win over the investors. It's not the same thing, obviously. So we find out things that from customers when we interview your customers who have also researched and interacted with those competitors and maybe even bought from them and then come looking for another solution, which is quite common. Those are the people who can tell you how they were pitched, what they were said, what the salesman said to them, and explain their process with that competitor. That's really important because now you've found the weakness, and there usually is a weakness, and it usually comes down to impressing them at the beginning and selling them with their top people and all of their fancy slides and so on. And then the real experience of dealing with that company happens. And that's where the rubber meets the road, and the customer is either delighted or disappointed. And if they're disappointed because of how they treated customers after they made the sale, that's an opportunity for our mid-size companies. And we can help, and we always do, help the mid-size companies shore up and improve their services and systems and processes and people and management, all of the things that make for the infrastructure, that make up the infrastructure. The infrastructure is what makes it possible for you to keep your promise. As I have said in other videos, branding is the promise that your marketing makes. Your brand is the promise that your company keeps or breaks. So we find that promise for you. It's very specific to your company. Following your competitors closely and trying to imitate what they do will not work for you. You're not them. You make different decisions. You have different people. You have different management. You have different goals. You've built a different infrastructure. Every company is different. So you have to find your unique offerings, the things, the promises, the things that make people happy, the promises that you keep. And once you found that, it almost doesn't matter what your competition's doing. If you do your part right and sell your company to the kinds of customers who want to do business with you, you're going to do better. Now, again, we can provide some very nice, wonderful slides, charts, summaries, analysis of the market, and so on. We have some very strong tools that we use for this. But having been in this business for so long and seeing the difference between what the presentations say, or even what AI now says, or even what the market analysts say, it's what the customer is thinking and their experiences that help you make more sales. That's where the money comes from. You can know all of the things about all of the markets, but if you don't understand that, you can't actually help your customers buy from you. So we do both. It's very important. Sometimes we find things out in the market that we hadn't heard the customer mention, and we want to check it out, drill down. Obviously, we do that. but I always interview the customers first. So you'll get both from us, not just what AI says, but what the people with the money who buy your products and services say, which is where the real truth is, and that's where the money is.